I'm going to tell you a story about my dad. Now, this isn't one of the funny haha stories. This is tough. This is tough right here. My dad, 23 years ago, was headed toward Jackson Hole, Wyoming by himself. He's got a horse trailer with two pack horses and a riding horse in it. And he stops off at a watering hole to water those horses. He gets two of them out. He's getting the third one out, and as he's getting the third one out, a wasp flew in the horse trailer, and that horse started jumping around and kicking around, and my dad was trying to get that horse calmed down. And as he was trying to get a hold of the rope to get that horse calmed down, that rope threw a half hitch around my dad's thumb, and that horse set back hard on that rope, and that rope yanked my dad's thumb off of his hand, just popped it off like that. Now, it didn't completely remove it, but right here at this second knuckle, that rope grabbed a hold of his thumb right there on that second phalange and just rotated it and busted that knuckle loose, and then just peeled and just twisted that thumb all the way off and then laid it in his hand, so that just these tendons, these flexor tendons, were holding on to his thumb. So it's just sitting there hanging. So he wraps it in a shirt, walks out the back of the trailer, because his whole plan is to get those other two horses back in the trailer so that he could get into town and maybe get to a hospital or something. He wasn't even sure what he was going to do yet. And these two other cowhands come rolling up to take a break. They were headed off to some job, and he said, "Gentlemen, I need a little bit of help." And they said, "What can we do for you?" And he said, "Well, I injured myself." And he holds up his hand, and his thumb is just not where it's supposed to be. Those guys didn't freak out or anything like that. One of them said, "Listen, mister, I'll take care of your horses and your outfit." He says, "You jump in the pickup here with my friend, and he's going to head in. He's going to get you to town." And so as they were headed into town, his friend started radioing ahead on the CB. Again, this is 23 years ago, so there wasn't cell phones. Started radioing ahead and on the CB, and said he had an emergency, and they scrambled a ambulance out of Jackson Hole, just scrambled it down the highway, and they rendezvoused about halfway. My dad got in the ambulance, took him to the hospital, put all his faith and trust in this other gentleman with his horses and his pickup and his trailer and all this stuff, and went to the hospital, and the emergency room doctor got him squared away. There wasn't much bleeding at all. With a tear like that, all the capillaries and stuff just close up pretty easily, so there was really not a lot of blood. But the emergency room physician said, "Okay, we got a surgeon on his way in here, going to see about reattaching that thumb." And my dad said, "Well, I don't have time for that." He said, I gotta get to I got a hunter up in the mountains right now, and I'm his guide, and I need to get up there to help him on his hunt. My dad was a bighorn sheep guide. My dad said, my best friend has a sheep tag, and this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for him, and he needs me up there helping him hunt." And the doctor said, "Well, listen, we really need to try and save this thumb." And my dad said, "Well, tell me exactly why you think that is." And he said, the doctor said, "Well, trying to get by without a thumb is going to be really difficult. It's going to be a learning experience for you. We could reattach that thumb and get some function back in there. At least you'll have some function." And my dad said, "What's the percentage? What do you think the likelihood is that you reattach that thumb and it'll function perfectly once it heals?" And the doctor said, "No," he said, that really won't probably be the case. He said, "But even if it functions at least 50%, having a thumb that functions 50% is better than having no thumb at all." And my dad said, "Bullshit. I just had a 100% functioning thumb get yanked off." He said, "What am I going to do with a thumb that doesn't work all the time anyway?" He said, "It will just be a matter of time before that happens again, with that thing just getting in the way all the time if it's not functioning the way it's supposed to be. I just had one that was working just fine get busted off. So cut that damn thing the rest of the way off, bandage me up, and let me get the hell out of here." So he signed everything he needed to sign, and they finished the job. They cut that thumb the rest of the way off and sewed it up, and he went back out in the parking lot and got in his truck with his 3 horses in it and drove to the trailhead Now, mind you, this hand is completely bandaged up. Looks like it's in a, you know, a boxing glove without, obviously a boxing glove without a thumb on it, and they got it tied to his body, you know, to keep it, you know, to just keep it stable. And so my dad saddled 2 pack horses and loaded 2 pack horses and saddled a riding horse with one hand, with a thumb, in a tremendous amount of pain. And got on that horse and took those 2 pack horses and rode 15 miles up the trail and set up a base camp for a sheep hunt. So that right there, that's tough. Have a good night.